forward to this.
What's up everyone, how's it going? I hope you all are having a good Sunday. And in this video, I'm going to be going over the top reasons why we need Ahsoka Tano in Battlefront 2. Now, there's a lot of reasons for this, so I'm going to be going over each one of these individually. But before I get into all of those reasons, there is a voice line of General Grievous talking to Ahsoka that is actually in the files. This does not confirm anything, but this does mean that they have thought about adding her, so that raises the chances of her being added into the game just a little bit higher. So I'm going to be playing that voice line right now.
The Padawan.
So I know what some of you might be thinking is he could be talking to any Padawan at this point, but in the actual file name, it's actually a Grievous call-out voice line for Ahsoka, but they spelled Ahsoka wrong. They spelled it A-S-H-O-K-A, so... but it's still Ahsoka either way. And one more thing, I'm also going to be going over your guys' top comments from the last few videos at the end of this video. So if you want to be featured in the next video, be sure and comment something and I might go over your comments. So let's get started with the first thing on my list. And that is going to be that she has dual lightsabers. Now I know technically General Grievous does use dual lightsabers, but the developers did have a very hard time working with Grievous, which is why he only uses 2 for his base animations. So I think with Ahsoka they can make her animations for dual lightsabers a lot more interesting and a lot more unique and have a lot more, so it'd be a lot more fun to use her than General Grievous. But that is my first thing on the list. I know a lot of people have been wanting a dual lightsaber hero in this game. And then also on the talk of lightsabers, she has one that is green of course, and then she has another one that's kind of a yellowish greenish. It's pretty cool looking, so I think that also stand out on the Battlefront if they decide to add her. So yeah, that is my first thing on this list of why we should have Ahsoka in Battlefront 2, her dual lightsabers. So the next thing on this list is kind of a small one. It's just an ability I've been thinking of, and that would be kind of like a dual lightsaber throw in a way, where she'll basically use one lightsaber to throw it, and then she'll use the other one to block incoming blaster fire and other lightsabers. I think this would be a really unique ability, and no light side hero actually has a lightsaber throw, so I think it'd be really cool to give it to her, and also it'd make her not too vulnerable to damage when she does throw it, because with Vader, once you throw it, you can't really block anything, and personally, whenever I use Vader and do his lightsaber throw, I do lose a lot of damage most of the time in Galactic Assault, because everyone just starts shooting at me. So I think having it to where she can also block would make her a little bit better. So next up on my list is she also has a perfect counterpart.
Hello there.
And then of course is Asajj Ventress. Now there's been a lot of talk recently about whether they're going to add both of them together, or kind of like how they had Obi Wan and Grievous and then Anakin and Dooku, because they both use dual lightsabers and they're both in the Clone Wars. I mean, there's just no one better to add for a counterpart, because as you know, DICE does like to make Battlefront 2 as equal and as fair as possible. So if they're going to add a blaster hero, they're also going to add a blaster villain as well. The only thing that's kind of unbalanced, if you want to say that, is Palpatine does have lightning, and no light side hero of course has lightning, but I mean, you can't really do anything about that unless of course they want to add Plo Koon, who does have a thing called Force Judgment, which is basically Sith lightning but for the Jedi, and Plo Koon is someone I really want in Battlefront 2. But back onto Ahsoka. The next reason on this list is that she is a fan favorite of the Clone Wars show. I know so many people who that is their favorite character, and I know she wasn't liked too much when the Clone Wars movie came out and then the first season of the show, but after that the creators of the show decided not to make her too annoying, and people actually started liking her, and then look how she is now. I mean, she's featured not only in the Clone Wars show, but in Rebels as well, and fans really want a standalone movie for her. So the real main reason I have this part on the list is because I think if they do add her, it would bring back a lot of players, as well as bring in a lot of new people, because they just love Ahsoka so much and they want to play as her in this game. But next up on this list is sort of similar to the last part, and that is a lot of people who do play this game at the moment have been begging DICE to add her. I mean, after the announcement of Count Dooku, Obi Wan, Anakin, and Grievous, people were like, well, who's going to be the next hero if we're even going to get more heroes? And everyone was been talking about why not it be Ahsoka Tano, because everyone has been wanting her for so long now. But if DICE does keep listening to the fan base on what they actually want, then surely enough she will be a hero. I don't think she's going to be the next hero if they are planning on adding her. I think we're going to get 2 blaster heroes. I think after that we'll get another lightsaber hero. But the next part on this list is something that benefits both DICE as well as the players, and that is the skin opportunities. So of course her base skin would most likely be the one from the Clone Wars show, where she has a green and kind of yellow lightsaber, but then another skin she could have could easily be a legendary skin, which would be 80,000 credits, or I believe 2,000 crystals if I am remembering correctly, and that is the Ahsoka Tano Rebels skin. And this skin is going to be when she's a little bit older but also has white lightsabers, and that's why I think it could be a legendary skin, because those lightsabers are just so cool looking and unique. I don't know any anyone who wouldn't be willing to pay that much credits or crystals for it. So not only would a lot of players enjoy this skin, but DICE would actually make quite a lot of money off of it as well. And then one more skin that I can think of would be in Rebels again, where she would have her hood up and also have her white lightsabers, so this probably would be 80,000 again. So those are my main reasons on why we should have Ahsoka Tano to be a hero in Battlefront 2. So finally, we're going to be going over your guys' top comments, and this first one comes from my latest Count Dooku video, and this person says, I hoped Dooku would have a lightning push like in Attack of the Clones, also a choke pull, which you can see him using against Obi Wan in Revenge of the Sith. And then he said, last one I hope is something with unlimited stamina and faster swing speed, and I've got to agree with all three of those. If you didn't watch my latest Count Dooku video, his abilities were actually leaked, and one of them has something to do with lightning. Now it is called lightning stun, and I'm really hoping that it is not a stun. We have been begging DICE to remove all the stuns in the game, but I do hope it is what he says, where it's a lightning push like he did in Attack of the Clones. And then his other ability is called Duelist, and that, in my opinion, is probably what he says, where it's unlimited stamina and faster swing speed. And I think he might do a little bit more damage, or maybe he could break through blocks, I don't know, but that's just my guess on what it would be. And then he talks about a choke pull ability. I think that would be a pretty cool one, but if you know Darth Vader's choke, it didn't work most of the time, but I believe they did fix it in the last update, and I haven't had any issues with it lately. But yeah, his other ability in the files was actually called Exposed Weakness. Now, this could be absolutely anything. I have no idea what it's going to be, but it could potentially be a chokehold for all we know. So let's go on to the next comment. And this comment comes from my latest video, which is the Droideka concept art video. And Bailey Orr says, it's funny because first it was a crash speeder, but if you listen to the droids, if you lose as them on Geonosis, they do say this wouldn't have happened with Droidekas. And yeah, that is a good point. This could very well be DICE just hinting at Droidekas coming sometime in the future, but at the same time, it could just be another voice line. I don't want to get too much into it and overthink it. But Ben also tweeted at the beginning of this month, I believe, that he cannot wait to show off the blank and the blank. We don't know what these two things are, but people are speculating whether it's going to be Droidekas as well as Republic Commandos. At least that's what I'm hoping for, as well as a lot of other people. So that's just my take on whether Droidekas are going to be coming to the game or not. We have no idea. But this next comment is from Sporticus, and he says, when are we getting the Count Dooku transmission? Now, my guess would be next week, because he does come out on the 23rd, which as of now is just 10 days away. So if it doesn't come out next week, it'll definitely come out the following week on probably Tuesday. So yeah, those are just three of your guys' top comments. If you want to hopefully be featured in the next video, go ahead and comment something down, and I might be reviewing it in the next video. But that is going to do it for today, and thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are new, be sure and subscribe for more Star Wars news, gameplay, and more, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.